Good morning. Let's take a look. Okay, the usual. The phone has to be on the wall. Okay. And by the way, today is 8:15. Um, with the front facing me. Okay, so the front, oh, screen. Okay, so fourth period teacher are supposed to get your papers. I think you have till Friday. So make sure they're filled out. I think there were three things you needed. The fundamental agreement, purple sheet, a gold sheet, and a pink sheet. And again, that's your fourth period teacher. All right, math fees, if you have them, give me the last 10 minutes, raise your hand, I'll come around and get them, or call you up to my desk. Calculators on the desk, get your calculator out. I have 4 calculators up here. When you borrow them, please put them back and put them back neatly because they are lettered. And I'm missing one, so get that back up here. Okay, so find the mean, median, mode. We're not doing range. So to find the mean, you're going to add these up. So this is 3, this is 3, and that's 3. So 3, 6, 9. So you're going to have 9 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to go, 5 goes into 9 one time with 4 left over. You're going to add a decimal, add a 0, and I get 1.8. 8 times 5 is 40. And we're done. To find the mode, or the median rather, you're going to line them up. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. This one has 1 in the middle because it's odd. So the median, this is your average. The median, the one in the middle, is 2. And the mode is the one that occurs the most. This time you have 2 modes. So you're going to put a 1 and a 2. Okay, watch the next one. This one, you're going to add them up. That's 7 plus 3 more. That makes 10. So it's 10 divided by 4. 4 goes into 10 twice. With 2 left over, add a decimal, add a 0, and that's 2.5. So your mean is 2.5. The median, you got to line it up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's not 1 in the middle. So you got to add those 2 up and divide by 2. So it's 5 divided by 2. Half of 5 is 2.5, so that's your median. And there it is, and that's how you do it. So if it's odd, there'll be 1 in the middle. But you got to line them up. If it's even, you got to add these 2 up. We talked about that. Okay? Let's talk about today's work. Open up a book to page 15. And we're going to talk about travel expenses. Okay? And this one, example 1, on page 15 says less than 1,000 miles. So look up here. I'm on page 14 actually for the chart. So less than 1,000 miles. See how this one doesn't have a little equal sign? So that is less than. So what you have to do is add up this one, and this one. So you got to add up all 3 of these numbers for example 1. So get your calculator and add up those 3 numbers. Do that right now. And I want you to write these numbers down and then put the answer. Okay? Now, if there was an equal sign here, then it wouldn't be less than, and you wouldn't be able to include that number. So be careful with that. Example 2 talks about relative frequency. Relative frequency is nothing more than a ratio of how many times it occurs divided by the total number. I'm going to say that again. How many times something happens divided by the total number. So if you look at example 1, the relative frequency would be all of these added up divided by the total of all of these. And that's called relative frequency. Today, we're doing this work It was on the worksheet, but I didn't really emphasize it. So go to page 12, and I want you to finish 6 through 15. Make sure you put this heading on there, and I would like to see name, date, and period as well. Okay? So if you want to get credit, that's what you need to do. When you're done, I want you to read the next section. Do not close your book if you finish early, and make sure you paraphrase the questions. Okay? Or if you want, copy them down. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to college algebra. Okay, so for college algebra, we've got 4 things here. Let's take a look. All right, so first of all, as usual, your phones have to go on the wall when you walk in. And I want the screen side out. 4th period teacher gets some papers. The papers your teacher is going to get will be a purple one, a gold one, and a pink one. Okay? Also, lab fees, if you have that, I want you to have it by Friday. Raise your hand the last 10 minutes and remind me, and I'll come around and pick it up. Calculators, I have some up here on my cart. If you use one, make sure you put it back. I'm already missing one. All right, let's go to page 9, and we're going to watch a video on properties. So let's go to page 9 before we do anything. And on page 9, there's a chart of properties. So I want you to take a look at these because I didn't go over it. So go to page 9, grab the book, and let's go over these. So, commutative property, and here's how I memorize it. So copy that down. So put commutative switch. So if I say 2 plus 3, you would switch it and say what? 3 plus 2. That would be the commutative property. And since you're adding, it would be addition. Okay? Multiplying would be like A times B. And then how would I switch that? B times A. So whenever you switch it, it is commutative property. Let's talk about associative. Associative is regrouping. Okay, so put AG, associative grouping. That's the way I want you to memorize it. So if I say 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3, then I group it. Let's say I have those two in the first group, and then I switch it to that, or regroup it to that. Now notice that the order stays the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the associative property. And multiplication would be ABC equals ABC, but then you regroup it. You would group those and group those. And it doesn't matter which group you use, as long as it's a different group. Now let's say they switch it on you. Let's say they say ABC, and then here they say ACB, and they group it, and they group it. Well, the problem here is they change the order. See how it's ABC and then ACB? They changed it. Whenever they switch it, it is commutative, CS. So be careful with that. If they switch it, it is commutative, not associative. It looks like it, but it's not. Distributive property, most kids know that. So if you have 2 times x plus 4, you would have to distribute the 2. Like I pass papers out to the class. So it's 2x plus 8, right? 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times x is 2x. That's called the distributive property. Identity property of addition means it doesn't change. It's an identity. If you start it with A, you end it with A. And the only number you can do with that is add 0. When you multiply, you start with A, you end with A, you multiply by 1, it doesn't change. Hence the word identity. So if you start with the same thing and end with the same thing, it's an identity. This is the inverse. So if I have -2, then I put a positive 2. That would be the inverse. Okay? Negative 2, positive 2, those are inverses. And when you multiply, the inverse is you divide. If you divide, you multiply. Those are the properties. We're going to watch a short video. Today you're going to do some work. Write this down. Page 12, 16 through 46. Make sure you copy the problems, show some work, and check your answers. 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Copy the problems, show work, check answers. Do you need to check all of them? No, but there it is. All right, have a good morning. We're going to go on to a new section tomorrow. And actually, I think we're going to use computers tomorrow with Albert I.O. So bring your laptop tomorrow, every Friday.